Today I will show you the best CPU and GPU combos for different type of consumers. So whether you want to do gaming or you want to do content creation, this video is going to be for you. Not only that, but I will also give you options in case you want to do both. And don't worry if you are new to PCs, because I will explain everything as simple as possible in broad terms, that way you are able to understand me. And remember, these CPU and GPU combos are the best ones in terms of price to performance, in my opinion. All the links to these CPU and GPU combos will be featured in the video description. That being said, let's start. First, we are going to talk about gaming, and I have 3 CPU and GPU combos, the 1080p option, the 1440p, and then the 4K resolution combo. With the 1080p one, we have the AMD Ryzen 5 5600 for the CPU and the RX 6650 XT for the GPU. This is a great value combo for 1080p high FPS on a budget. On the latest 15 game average at 1080p from TechSpot, on ultra settings by the way, and high demanding games being tested, the RX 6650 XT got an average of 85 FPS, which is actually a really solid number because we are talking about high demanding titles on ultra settings. So if you want to play easier to run titles, you can expect way more than 100 FPS depending on the game and the settings. Not only that, but this CPU and GPU combo are amazing for esports titles to play at above 240 FPS on average, and you have to keep in mind that the price is pretty solid at $383 because remember that we are talking about price to performance CPU and GPU combos. With the next one, we have a 1440p combo with the AMD Ryzen 5 7600 from the AM5 platform, and then the RX 6800 for the GPU, which is a great priced GPU for 1440p resolution, and you can also play at 1080p really high FPS or even at 4K depending on the game and the settings, 60 plus FPS on average. On that same 15 game average I've mentioned before, but this time at 1440p resolution, while the RX 6650 XT was able to average around 60 FPS, the RX 6800 was able to average 93 FPS. So you are getting better performance from the 6800 at 1440p than the 6650 XT at 1080p. Very powerful GPU for 1440p. Now, it's not going to be the best one at 1440p because you can get the RX 7800 XT or 7900 XT or the RTX 4070 or 4070 Ti. All of those GPUs are going to perform better than this one, but those are at least $100 more expensive. And in case you were wondering, in other resolutions, the RX 6800 is able to average 127 FPS at 1080p and 54 FPS on average at 4K. But remember, this is high demanding titles on ultra settings, so if you turn down the graphics settings to high or turn on FSR, which is the upscaler from AMD, you are going to be achieving at least 60 plus FPS on average in most titles. And then for the 4K combo, this one is quite more expensive, but in my opinion is the best one in terms of price to performance. For 4K, you get the AMD Ryzen 7 7700 for the CPU and the RX 7900 XT for the GPU. This is a 20 gigs of VRAM GPU that's going to be amazing for 4K resolution, and the Ryzen 7 7700 is a very solid 8-core processor that's going to give you plenty of performance and is not going to bottleneck our GPU. One thing to keep in mind is that for about $50 more, you can get the Ryzen 7 7800X3D, which is arguably the fastest CPU in the market. So if you want to play easy to run games on low settings where you're going to be using more CPU, then getting the 7800X3D is going to make more sense. However, for most titles at 4K, especially on ultra settings and high demanding titles, you are not going to notice the difference between this one and the 7800X3D. So if you are the type of gamer that plays easy to run games on low settings, then it makes sense to upgrade the CPU. But if you're going to play high demanding titles, or at least most of the games that you play are more GPU demanding, then it's not going to make sense. The total price for this CPU and GPU combo is $1,068, but considering we are talking about a high-end 4K resolution combo, it's actually a very solid price. On that 15 game average I've been mentioning, 4K resolution, ultra settings, the RX 7900 XT was the best one out of all of the GPUs tested, with an average of 81 FPS, which is once again very good performance, especially considering that we are talking about high demanding titles on ultra settings at 4K resolution. And once again, you can always turn on FSR if you want higher frame rates. Anyway, now let's move on to the video editing plus gaming combos of the video. With the first one, we have the budget combo with the i5-12600K for the CPU and the Intel Arc A750 for the GPU. This is a very good budget content creation CPU and GPU combo and will allow you to run content creation applications with no issues, especially if you want to do live video editing at 1080p. This is going to be plenty and way more than enough. Actually, most people do not need anything more than this if you are not a professional content creator and you just want to start your YouTube journey. On top of that, it's actually pretty solid for 1080p gaming and you will be able to achieve 60 plus FPS on average in most games with no issues. The price is $380, so very good price for a budget CPU and GPU combo. Then moving up a tier, we have the i5-13600K, which is actually the CPU I have for my system, and then you get the RTX 4070 for the GPU, which is going to be actually better than the Intel Arc A750, especially because you get more VRAM, and it's going to be a much better option for 3D rendering. So for $812, you are getting an amazing CPU and GPU combo that's going to be able to edit even 4K footage with no issues. And for gaming, it's amazing for 1440p resolution, high to ultra settings, 80 plus FPS on average. If you have more money to spend and you want an even better CPU and GPU combo that can do both gaming and content creation, we have the i7-14700K and the RTX 4080. There are better GPU and CPU combos with the RTX 4090 and i9s or Ryzen 9 processors, but remember this video is about value combos, and on the high-end market, this one in my opinion is the best one in terms of price to performance. You are going to be able to do everything when it comes to content creation. Once again, most people will not need anything more than this, and if you need more than this, you would actually know. But this CPU and GPU combo, amazing for content creation, productivity work, 3D rendering, and anything that you can think of. The total price is $1,561 for the CPU and GPU combo. And one thing that I have to say is that even though the CPU and GPU combo are the most important components when it comes to performance for gaming and content creation, because if you don't have enough RAM, for example, you can be losing a lot of performance. Or if the power supply doesn't meet the wattage requirements, your PC is going to be in danger. So if you really want the best PC build with no bottlenecks, you will have my video on the best gaming PC builds in the top right of the screen, where I go over every budget and every resolution. And remember, those have no bottlenecks, so you don't have to worry about which power supply to get, how much memory, wonder if the airflow of your case is going to be enough. So if you want a complete PC build, that video is going to be helpful. And if you have any questions, let me know in the comment section. I will try to reply as fast as possible. Thank you guys for watching, thank you for the support, and I will see you on the next one.